Welcome to the Life Currency Podcast. I'm your host, Bob Lozano, a show that explores success, growth, and opportunity in the restaurant industry. A restaurant podcast by restaurant people, powered by F&P Media.
Ladies and gentlemen, today feels a bit surreal. We've had a heavy day in the best ways possible. And for those that haven't been to F&P Studios, it's been a buzz. It started with a buzz as soon as these folks that I'm going to introduce got here. Actually, I'm going to let them introduce themselves, but just wanted to share that the room is feeling great, and I think the conversation is going to be even better. So thank y'all for being here. I also want to interject real quick and say today's Life Currency episode has a co-host. Thank you for being here, Miss Giselle.
Thank you. So I'm Giselle Mascareñas and so excited to be here and be your co-host, Bob.
Yay. And who do we have today?
Hey, y'all. Well, I'm Jessica Delgado, and my husband and I own House Wine Bistro and Salt and American Table here in McAllen, in the Rio Grande Valley.
And I'm Larry Delgado,
The chef.
chef and
The-
co-owner of the
Yeah.
Delgado Collective.
Love it, man. Love it. I shared, I think I've told you as well, Chef, but if I haven't, let me tell you personally. My wife and I's first date was at your restaurant at Salt. So it already held a special place in my heart because I also admitted to you that I lived right in front of there. So I lived in the big building in front of Salt. We called it the Village People. We were all quirky there. But so I'd frequent your restaurants. But just having our first date there was really special. I don't remember what we ate. We usually order. I was trying to impress her, so I was like, "Give me some appetizers. Give me some dessert as well."
One of everything.
So, yeah, it was nice. Actually, it was a horrible day, to be honest. Right?
Oh, no.
It was so bad on my part. Yeah, it was so bad. But the food was good. I think the ambiance was good. I think she was like, "This guy has good taste. We're at Salt. I'll give him a second chance."
There you
So, but yeah, man, wanted you to know that. Thanks again for being here with us today. It means a lot, and I think it's very important that I've shared on numerous accounts that y'all's leadership needs to be recognized, and so I'm very happy. I know in the restaurant industry we're pretty casual folks, but it's something that we celebrate here, and celebrating y'all is definitely meaningful. So,
Thank you, Bob.
you mentioned two restaurants. It hasn't always been two. Yeah, I guess y'all started with House Wine. Was the
Yes,
OG?
it's been 17 years now that we opened House Wine, 2008. Oddly enough, it wasn't a restaurant when we opened. Our dream was to have a boutique wine lounge.
Oh,
and
nice.
We sold some furniture as well. Weird concept, but that's where the name House Wine
I don't know, man.
was born.
Drinking some wine might let the credit card slide
Hey,
easier.
you know, that
dude.
was,
That's
yeah,
the
that was
idea.
kind of the idea.
Wasn't it a franchise?
Didn't work. Yeah.
Initially, we were trying to create that
Mhm.
that aspect of it. We
From Fredericksburg,
we
right?
found
Bought
a
a brand,
brand,
yeah.
the brand in Fredericksburg, and met with the owners there, and they were excited. Oddly enough, gosh, we haven't talked about that in a long time, but oddly enough, Fredericksburg was one of our favorite places to visit. We lived in Austin, and for Jessica and I, it was an hour away. It was a getaway. We were far enough away from our businesses. We were both managing partners for restaurants in Austin. We could get away, feel far enough away that we were away, but close enough that we could shoot back if we needed to, and make a long weekend of a trip to Fredericksburg. We met these folks, and we quickly fell in love with both of them, and they with us, and we had a lot of things in common, especially the love of wine. And we started talking about opening something in the Valley. No, actually, we didn't even say the Valley. They did first. They said, "Hey, have you ever heard of McAllen, Texas?" And I thought they were pulling my chain. I said, "Come on, what do you mean? Did you do some research on us or what? How'd you know we were from McAllen?" He said, "Y'all from McAllen?" So, well, I grew up in the
Well,
Valley.
at the time, we didn't live in McAllen.
No, we didn't. No,
Yeah,
no.
'cause we
The
were
best that I grew up in the
Got it,
Valley,
yeah.
but it's just odd that you would bring up McAllen of all places. Like we want to open in Austin. He said, "No, McAllen has this great wine scene, and we were introduced to different purveyors and distributors of wine that did see the potential in McAllen, and then so did we. And so that was 2008. We said, okay, let's. I think Jessica came down on her own to just scout out the area. At the time, the heart of the city in McAllen there was a big push for culture. I still remember the banners that were hanging down Business 83. It said culture, cuisine, and cocktails. And there was this big push for places like that to open up down 17th Street. And we happened to find a building that landed within the new entertainment district that was mapped out for that kind of thing. And that was House Wine Bistro. It was an old photo studio. I think it'd been a photo studio for 50 plus years. I had family members that took their wedding pictures and graduation pictures and whatnot in that building. When Jessica came down, she looked for one day. She says, I found our building. So I drove down, and I remember walking in the first day. I said, oh no, we got to get out of here.
I think you said, oh, hell no. Like that was the sentiment on the condition of the building. Yeah.
Maybe that the building, it had not barbed wires, what do you call it? Burglar bars. But they were homemade burglar bars made out of like 1/2-inch rebar.
It had overground plumbing. Overground plumbing.
Oh no!
I think that it was broken up into what you see now is probably what we made. One dining room was 6 rooms, different
photo sessions and
right. I think one had pink shag carpet. It was a mess.
It was wild.
So who kicked off the idea of becoming business owners?
I think we both. It was part of the bigger picture, the bigger plan. As managing partners for Carrabba's in Austin, we were kind of groomed for it. You know, we were given a lot of autonomy to run our restaurants as owners, and we did, and we learned a lot, and you know, a lot more than we could have otherwise about the business. And at one point we said, well, we could do this for ourselves.
I love that. So I want to pause there because I want to make sure I'm understanding that correctly. But you said it was a managing partner program type deal?
Correct.
Nice. And was that kind of a informal profit sharing program, or no? There was literally a. Yeah. No, how did that work?
It was a legitimate profit share partnership. We had we had to buy in.
Yeah.
For a percentage of the business.
Yeah, I'll share briefly, but I think that's. If I had to name, 5 things that's helped us in our business, and profit share is probably in the top 3. And I just love hearing when other people do that, because our business is a lot of hard work, and good management, good leadership should have that opportunity to continue to grow in the business. And so I love hearing that, man. That's really cool. And so you're there, Carrabba's, then you go to Fredericksburg. You didn't drink any wine at Fredericksburg,
none.
I'm sure, none. And then you get this.
A lot.
Yeah.
So no sipping.
Then you get this crazy idea, a bottle into wine, and say we're going to McAllen, Texas, and opening up a furniture store.
Yep.
Wow.
That's about it. It was
a furniture wine store.
So it was a lifestyle store, right?
That makes sense.
The concept was when you think about what you as individuals, as consumers, right? We drink wine. When we first are introduced to wine, it's just got to be functional, right? It just needs to get the job done, and then you earn a little more money, or you get a little more established and financially, and then you start buying the brand names and the popular things, and then as you earn, or you get this appreciation for it, then you want the boutique wines that are, maybe old world wines or something, the Bordeaux's and things of that nature. And furniture's a lot. If you think about furniture in the same way, it's kind of the same thing. Your first apartment in college, your couch doesn't need to be Ralph Lauren; it just needs to be something we could sit on. Sometimes you throw a blanket over it, right? Or at least I did. And that was your
Usually
new couch.
Hand me down.
But then comes the brand names, and then eventually, when you have appreciation for furniture, then the handmade,
Custom.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of taking the idea that people are going to shop for wine and furniture in the same fashion. So let's sell these boutique wines and these one-of-a-kind pieces of furniture in the same store.
I'm going to make a weird parallel here, but what it made me think about is sometimes the way I cook and I eat, right? Because I'm like, today, I don't care, dude. I want my blizzard. I want my burger. I want something to fill me up or whatever. It needs to be functional, but I'm in more of a grubby mood or whatever. And then other days I can spend 45 minutes making one sandwich, right? And frying the egg and everything.
Yeah.
And so you kind of it's weird. The reason I bring that up is because it really depends on your mood a lot of the time. And so I'm curious about, you're going into that lifestyle thing and you're obviously aiming for a vision for the project. But fast forward to today, how do you feel like your moods and your different decisions that you went through and lived through, whether it was how you were drinking wine or when you were drinking wine, how did that evolve? Like, take us through mentally the decision to change it. When did it not work? And then when did you say, well, our best pivot here is to serve wine, and to open up a restaurant?
So
Well-
you want to take that one?
Sure.
Go for
Well, we had thought, I mean, I guess it was more of like a dream or a pipe dream because we had always been in the hospitality industry. Well, Larry doesn't like when I tell the story, but he hired me when I was 18.
it.
We
She
were-
told me she was 21.
We were both servers and, started at, at that entry level. He was going through his management training, and we loved Carrabbas. I was there for 10 years, 14 years, and made our first career out of it. And so we kind of thought, well, let's do this. We had, again, always wanted to do our own thing, found that House Wine in Fredericksburg, and like, let's do this.
Yeah.
And so we kind of just set on a mission, not knowing anything about furniture or, I mean, like, we're excellent salespeople for food and beverage and our brands, but like now transitioning to a furniture industry, very high-end furniture. Beautiful blankets and throws and chandeliers and dining tables and very high-end pieces. And we're like, I like that, but I know nothing about the product, the assembly, who made it, what these materials are. So it was definitely a learning curve. And could we have learned it? Sure. But I think we knew very quickly that this was not going to work. We opened in 08, so it was the heat of the recession.
Yeah.
We're in downtown McAllen, and we were very hopeful that this was going to be like the coolest, newest thing. Well, we're not in a heavily trafficked, stop, shop, and stroll all day area. And so we really realized that quickly and said, you know what? I think we just admitted it. We don't know anything about furniture. And like, we don't have the time of this learning curve. What we do know is restaurants. So we got to find the money to make this into a restaurant. And so it was that move.
I know Chef has something to share as well, and I want to hear that. But when y'all moved down, was that place off the expressway still going out of business? The carpet store?
Oh, yeah.
Forever.
It's been going out of
It's
business
still
forever.
going out of
18
business.
years
It
later.
still is, yeah.
I finally walked in there about a year ago for the
You
first
did
time
it.
ever.
You're
Yes,
like,
I did.
have to go find out what
There's
is in
never
this
even
building.
cars
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, no, there's not, but it is a weird experience. The whole
You walk
thing.
out
Do
with
they
a new rug?
actually have
Yeah,
rugs?
no, absolutely. They have a lot of rugs
Like
and beautiful rugs.
40,000 rugs have to fit in that space.
I'm talking a lot, and I'm
Okay.
like, I'm not here to audit the business, right? But I'm like, I got to get out of here. So it was one, I couldn't afford it, and two, it was the whole experience was bizarre. That's so crazy, man. Well, let's fast forward a bit, because the restaurant industry is evolving every day, and frankly, I think we try to balance kind of a macro level. Okay, what's going on in the industry? What are the trends? What are we hearing? What are we doing? And then we just boil it down to running one restaurant, right? And we just kind of seesaw that strategy a little bit. When you boil it down to one restaurant, or at least for me, from my perspective, I mean, y'all are the epitome of Rio Grande Valley food and beverage. I mean, I grew up seeing that. I saw it. It was the first restaurants that I visited, that I frequented, and you started to establish a culture, especially in the trade areas that you operate in, down on Main Street, 83rd, etc. And how did that did you feel at the time that you were starting that, or was it more of kind of a innocent, well, we're fighting for our livelihood? And I'm just curious from your perspective, right?
It was a little bit of both. We as Jessica mentioned, I'll tell you, the catalyst was one night, we didn't sell a lot of furniture. People wanted to sit on it. They wanted to enjoy the space and drink their wine on it. And we were like, oh, it's a $10,000 couch. Just take your red wine over there. I remember one night, in particular, hadn't sold a lot of furniture, and a gentleman walked in, and he looked at the price tag on one of our tables, and he made me an offer. And I'm like, what do you mean, the price is on the table. He says, well, if you want to sell it, you'll entertain my offer. And he says, and he threw his credit card on the counter. I was standing behind the bar. He says, you want to sell it? Sell it. And I grabbed the credit card and I ran it. He said, there you go, the table's yours. And then I was so excited to tell Jessica, I said, I just sold the table. She goes,
I have to interrupt because
you didn't charge tax?
Oh.
Yeah, and this is thousands of dollars. And we had to sell the table because it was like, the disconnect notice is already
you
reached
gotta get
its
some cash
time.
somehow.
Tomorrow the electricity
Sure.
gets turned off. And yesterday the comptroller called, where's my sales tax?
Yeah.
Those phone calls that like, we didn't have to deal with at Carrabba's because home office took care of
Sure.
that part of it. And so it was all, kind of new, and that, not kind of, very new, and that sole ownership, like, sell that table for whatever you will take, get the money so we can pay the electricity bill.
It was still a significant amount of money,
Yeah,
right?
hundreds of dollars in sales tax.
So,
But we're just
so I
like,
take the
just
money,
do it, yeah.
and I'm celebrating. We're taking you out. We pay sales tax, and I'm taking you out to dinner. And we went out to a nice restaurant for dinner, and
Maybe for the first time in like a year or
at that
something.
dinner table, I said, something's missing. And we started doing dinners of our own, small dinners. Dinner and a movie where we'd invite 30 people in, we'd play a movie on the television and theme the 3-course meal on the movie. And we played stuff like
fun.
Goonies and
French
Tus-
Kiss,
yes,
Under the Tuscan
Under
Sun.
the Tuscan Sun, The Good, the Bad, and the
Always themed it,
Ugly.
yeah.
You would love that, right?
It was cool. It was fun. And for a few weeks, those were the only people in the place, was whoever was coming to have dinner. And then all of a sudden, people started coming in, and we got more popularity. And then people that weren't watching the movie were sitting over here going, "Can you turn that movie down?" And people that were watching the movie say, well, "Can you ask them to quiet down?" It's like, okay, we're building something here. People are liking the food. And there was one particular night where we're serving dinner, and we had so many compliments on the food, and I couldn't help it. Jessica came, she says, "What have these people been eating? This food's, it's good. I mean, it's great food, but it's like we've opened up a flavor bomb."
Yeah.
And I said, well, that's it. Just for context, we left Austin. We had 120 employees between the two of us to this home mom and pop boutique wine shop. We had 6 employees, which was really what we were looking for. And when the realization came that we needed to be doing food and what we know best, is when everything set off. So it was a year later, in 2009, September, when we opened, remodeled the small remodel in the kitchen, opened for dinner, and we were off to the races.
I think it's really important that we hear those stories because they, if you, just being honest here, but if you search Chef Larry Delgado, it's going to tell you 3 restaurants, Beat Bobby Flay, competition winner, but it hasn't always been like that. And I think that's why the life currency piece is super important, is to share that nothing's fully cooked, and it's never fully cooked. And I think we got to continue to learn and share what we were thinking or what we were feeling at that time, just to keep kind of get us over that hump constantly. So I really love that story. I had no idea, and this is why we do this, because I just learned a whole lot. And it's when I'm going to be eating in House Wine, I'm going to think of those those couches.
What I love is knowing, like, I experienced all that. I walked in when you guys were building it. I was so involved in the community. I think I was like on 20 boards. And I remember it was just like, it was you guys. It was like the culinary experience. Like, if you wanted to feel special, it was going to House Wine. You know, if you wanted to like have like this really, like, you wanted to impress somebody in a business meeting, you were like, meet me at House Wine and, you know, let's have a meeting there. And it changed the game. Like, they already saw you different. It was a game changer. It was a game changer, you guys.
It's and I'm glad you mentioned that, Giselle, because I was going to ask you, do you remember dining at their restaurant for the first time?
I remember going in and being like, who are you? Like, what is happening here?
Yeah,
because like something major was happening. It was like the buzz was on.
Yeah.
And I remember the furniture and I remember all that. But the food, the culinary experience, elevation, you got the OGs are right here.
Yeah, I totally agree.
OGs.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I remember dining there one time, and I was I don't even know how old I was, but there was meeting with a banker, and you have a very judicious use of leverage. I was like, what the hell is that? You haven't borrowed very much money. And I'm like, okay, buddy, you could have told me that to begin with. But you're right about the business meetings, and you're right about like closing deals or meeting people and dates and all of the above. And it was cool. It still is cool, man. What y'all are doing is cool, and the catering stuff is cool. And so I think that shows that y'all truly understand hospitality and service industry, because it's not a one-trick deal where you open up a restaurant and does well, okay, you hit it at the right time. I mean, you're doing it from a catering perspective and then in two different concepts.
And experiential.
Yeah.
Like, your superpower, Jess, is the fact that everybody feels wow when they walk in and they leave going, that was the most amazing experience. Like, there's something very unique about the way she brings it to life. You
said a really important word right now that I think I would love to hear y'all's perspective on, but experiential, right? People believe that restaurants, there's kind of they talk about the K economy very often. Well, the industry is kind of splitting as well. Got to offer this experience, or you've got to offer value, right? And that's kind of where it's going, right? And we're having to kind of decide, because every day it feels like it's going faster in those two different directions. Kind of back to your point, Chef, about, you know, maybe more functional, and then more of, hey, I want this experience and I'm willing to trade my dollar for that, right? How do y'all view, and what have the discussions been internally about that change? Because I don't think we always saw that in the restaurant industry, where it's, truthfully, I'll just throw out and admit, I'm not a huge, my experience and expectations are very different than what I think people are now creating. I'm not a huge fan of the LED screens. I'm not a huge fan of the bottle service coming to the table. Frankly, it pisses me off, if I'm being honest. But I understand that there's a market for it, and social media drives a lot of that, right? And so you get where I'm getting at. There's this evolution of restaurants that we're living through, and what do those conversations sound like between y'all, and how do y'all feel about that? Because it impacts all of our businesses, right?
Well, for us, I mean, experience has always been everything. And for us, experience is certainly the food, certainly the hospitality, certainly the ambiance. It's the whole package, the lighting, the music, setting the tone, the beauty or the aesthetics of the place. But I think we're kind of like that classic restaurant. We've never been like super huge on picking up immediate trends. So like to your point, you know, you see a lot of restaurants that are doing all the glitz and glamour and, you know, big productions of food service and smoke and whistles and, you know, for the pun, but literally also. And so I think those are great and definitely has, you know, the following. We kind of, I think, just stick, we're pretty, I guess you could say our concepts are pretty classic. Again, they were great 18 years ago, still evolving, certainly. We're not staying relevant, but, you know, picking up super trends like that, I think that we are pretty faithful to our brand. You know, when we first opened up, I could tell you thousands and thousands of people said, you have to have karaoke, you have to have peanuts, you have to have chips and salsa. I mean, y'all, I'm telling you, thousands.
Sure.
Where's the Buchanan's? Where is a martini? Why do you listen to this music? What is up with this? You need a disco ball. I didn't make up one of those. And we were told hundreds of times, why don't you have bread service? Where are the peanuts? I mean, again, I'm not being facetious, but like, and we just said, you know what? This is our concept and we're going to stick to it. This is the same type of music that we're going to play all the time that fits this concept and this look, etc. And so we've just kind of been
successful for 18 years.
Specific to our brand and not added on everything to make everyone pleased. And we know that we have niche restaurants. But to your point, you know, value is so important. Experience is so important. People may forgive food, especially if they've been longtime customers, but people won't forgive service.
I love that.
And those are the things that will never go out of style. It will never untrend. You know, and people ask us often, like, what is the secret sauce? Why, you know, how do you do this? And we're like, I don't know the secret sauce, but I'll tell you that, like, basic courtesy, manners, professionalism, kindness, genuine hospitality is what we teach, what we expect. Have we failed at that? Certainly. Are we always on point? No, but that is the level of service that we expect for our team. And people love that. They love a thoughtful team member at an experience. The yes ma'am, the part of my reach, let me walk you to the restroom. We had admin's day today and I'm insisting to one of our guests, let me go bring up your car. You know, she had flowers from her table and bouquets and, you know, a little older, awesome woman. And I was like, let me bring up your car. And she insisted not, but just small things like that. And she parked, you know, the parking lot's full and just things that make people feel good, make people feel recognized and special is what people want.
Well said. Well said. I think, were you going to add to that, Chef?
Yes, I was just, the emphasis is exactly that. She answered my response in the last sentence. But we take food very seriously, but not so seriously that it compromises the guest experience. And I think that the most important aspect of our training is to teach our team that we're in the business of making people feel how they feel. They were going to remember that. They remember how we made them feel. May not remember what they ate or what they drank, but they'll certainly remember how they felt after an experience with us.
I think that's why that's important that y'all are on here, because I see such a genuine approach to the business. I can get behind new concepts, and I always do, and I can get behind celebrating, thinking way out of the box. What I struggle with is when all of those kind of ancillary pieces are prioritized over food and service, because it happens so often, and I continue to see a trend that people are willing to spend at locations that they get XYZ, and it's almost like the service and the food's not the priority anymore. And that to me is a bizarre thing that we're living through.
Extremely. I had a conversation with another chef in town also about this exact subject recently, and he pulled up some social media accounts from a couple of other restaurants that all had photos of people and their decor, and almost zero photos of food and beverage. So it's a different goal in mind. It has to be when there's that much disparity between restaurants of.
I think it's the whole Instagram moment. Like they went real hard to that experience instead of about the food, about the service. But that's short-lived also. Then you have to continue changing and changing and changing. And
I agree with you, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because it's not kind of, it absolutely is social media and influence, right? And circles and social circles, and when you can clip that and turn that into and share, etc. The businesses, but I still think which I'm happy you said that. I still think we're gonna go full circle. But right now, it does impact foot traffic. That's the reality of it.
Yeah.
These new places, whether they're in the valley or everywhere else, you know, and whether it's a 1-year run or a 10-year run, but you hit these trends, and I spoke to a chef out of Houston, and they said, look, this is what we do, because I was curious about it, and I'm like, how do you open these restaurants concepts and these trend concepts, like right now, okay, hand rolls are really big, right? People want to eat, you know, hand rolls, and I'm like, if you open that, then how do you know? He goes, dude, our job literally is to just live on the peaks of the trends. Like our skill set is to change the concepts constantly. So our mechanism in the background is identify the trends, be on them, and then hop off them, and budget for changing the whole restaurant concept. And you see this sometimes, like in Vegas. You see this with you know, maybe who's there at the is it the Bellagio? No, who just changed it? I think they did an Amalfi Coast kind of concept. Is that well, maybe it was Bobby Flay, but maybe one of them. Anyways, yeah, who is that? You're right. They change these concepts, but that's after like 20 years, right? Where the concept needs a spruce up, and then they change it. But it's a different business model, and I'm not afraid to admit I'm here. My business is I mean, I operate 75-year-old brands. You know, I'm y'all plus, right? We keep it very well, we talk about what's sexy in the restaurant business. What's sexy in the restaurant business is cash flow, steady cash flow, year after year. That's what's sexy, right? And we're so quick to just jump, right, and look. And so I think I'm curious, and I was curious about that, to know how y'all are viewing it, but it does impact our traffic. So it's I think it's important that we have those conversations. Giselle, what do you look for when you go to a restaurant?
I mean, honestly, I think the most important thing is how you feel. Like I'm somebody that loves experiences, but I also love to be served. If I'm gonna walk out of my house, because I love being at home, I love being with my grandbabies. If I'm gonna go and spend time out of my house, I want to feel special. And you guys always hit the note there. But I've gone to the other places, and it's really beautiful, absolutely. And it's exciting, but when you build what you guys have built, which is a connection to our community, because you guys are very involved, and then you guys make us feel extra special, like we always want to go home.
Yeah.
And that's what you built.
Like, so they'll be back. They'll be back.
We always come back. So we go and experience, but then we come home when we know we need to hit the mark of, like, maybe it needs to be extra special, or it's an anniversary, or it's a New Year's. We go where we know that.
Chef, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You're exactly right. That's the way I think. Chef, I've been thinking about it ever since I made that weird parallel. You're a sandwich guy?
I am.
How do you make a sandwich? What goes in it?
Deliciously.
Yeah, I bet.
Very carefully.
Yeah, well, if you have all the ingredients and you have all the time, what's your sandwich sound like?
Oh, man. That's tough. I have all the ingredients?
Yeah.
That's not my forte, okay?
Yeah.
You need to give me 5 ingredients that random, and I can make you the best sandwich you ever had.
I like that. I like that.
If you give me all the ingredients at my disposal, it's going to be a minute, because
yeah, all my cooking skills came from Chopped. The show Chopped. I think I've watched every single episode of Chopped. It's not even funny.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm going to answer your question, because for me, it's simple as a grilled cheese.
Oh, nice.
I love a grilled cheese.
But now you know the follow-up question. What kind of cheese?
And what kind of bread?
Brioche.
Okay.
Gotta be brioche.
Mayo or butter on the bread?
Butter.
All right.
Gotta be butter.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done mayo a lot.
I haven't tried that.
Yeah.
I've heard of that, yeah.
And then...
And cheese. Oh, boy. Okay, another unpopular opinion here, but I go with a variety available, but one of them has to be American.
Yeah.
You're right.
Sure.
It's not popular.
For sure.
You know, because that's my comfort food.
Sure.
If I'm building that sandwich for you as a customer, it may not be that way, right? I'll make it however you want it.
Yeah.
But if I'm making it for myself and my family at home, American cheddar, smoked Gouda, that combination,
Ooh.
with a couple of slices of applewood smoked bacon, forget about it.
That's awesome. Let's, I know, why don't we show the audience a little bit more about Chef Larry and Miss Jessica real quick, and we can jump to a quick video we'd like to share.
My name is Larry Delgado, my wife Jessica, and welcome to Salt New American Table.
We had been living in Austin. We learned about the growth and everything going on here, and we said we absolutely want to be a part of it. So we moved down in 2008, opened our first restaurant, House Wine Bistro, and then about 2.5 years ago, we opened Salt New American Table. So within 2 miles, you'll find one of our restaurants in the downtown entertainment district of McAllen.
People thought we were crazy opening a second restaurant just 3 blocks away from our first, but our business has never been embraced like it has been here in McAllen.
This business community is unlike anything that we've ever experienced. And it's hard to explain to anyone, but the entrepreneurial spirit, it's so real here. I think it's a wonderful city to do business for small business owners as well as big business owners. It's a great blend of a little bit of everything that anyone would want to establish that awesome quality of life.
In 8 years of having our businesses in McAllen, we've never experienced a single concern, or never had a single concern for our safety or the safety of our businesses or our restaurants or our staff or family regarding any border trouble. A lot of the negative issues that we hear are just overblown. We love this city. We owe our success to the city and the community, and we'll continue to grow our businesses right here and grow our family in McAllen.
That was fantastic. I love seeing that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Life Currency Podcast. I have to say it now because I know we're limited on time today, but would love to have y'all back on. Would love to engage more. Thank you for all that y'all do for our community. And we don't have enough time to go over all that y'all do for our community, but this has already been a fun experience. So we'll get through a couple more questions. I know Ms. Giselle had some questions as well. And then we'll go. The team has a little surprise for you. So, before that, Ms. Giselle, what do you got?
Well, I want you to share with everyone about the Bobby Flay experience.
Yeah.
Like, you have to share with them. But I also want to know, like, was his really messy?
Was what?
Was his dish really messy?
Oh, he was rattled. Yeah.
Okay, show it from the beginning.
Yeah, he was rattled. Okay, so I get a phone call from a producer that says, hey, well, I'm calling from the Bobby Flay show. I'd been on a show previously, Guys Grocery Games.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I tell you I get rattled with unlimited options. I was let loose in a grocery store with a concept. And I was like, oh, what? That's too much. I need to narrow it down to 4 or 5 ingredients, which was challenging for me.
40,000.
Anyhow, fast forward to Bobby Flay. They said, we're looking for talent from the Rio Grande Valley. And I said, okay, great, I'm your guy. Well, what can you make in 45 minutes? I said, nothing. You want me to go on national television to compete against Bobby Flay? What are your specialties? I said, well, I do this, this, and this at this restaurant and this restaurant. But nothing that I suggested could be done in 45 minutes. There's an actual time clock. And they said, okay, well, we like you. I'm going to send you on a phone call with another producer. She'll be calling you here shortly. Shared it with Jessica. I said, hey, Bobby Flay,
Oh my
go for it. So then I get another call, and we're talking again about, we're going through my whole menu, all 3 menus. Salomé was open at the time. You do this? Yes, but no, I don't want to take that to, you do this? No, that's a 2-hour process. That's a 3-day process. And then finally she says, have you ever made carne asada? That was my reaction. That was my reaction. I looked at the phone. Fajitas? And she goes, yeah, I guess you could call them fajitas. I said, only every other weekend since I was 12 years old. She says, great. You know, Bobby, that's Bobby Flay's thing. I said, man, with all due respect, that's not Bobby Flay's thing. Okay,
Oh my God, it turned out to be perfect.
that's our thing. And she says, okay, great. Can you do it in 45 minutes? I go, yeah, I can do that. But I'm not taking a fajita taco to Beat Bobby Flay. She goes, you do whatever you want. And so that was it. That was the beginning. And I said, well, we'll do a flank steak, and we make mole verde, which is very popular at Salt, even before we opened Salomé. A tamal with huitlacoche, and we did the corn relish. And when I say he was rattled, when he learned that I was doing a tamal, he's like, "You're making a tamal in 45 minutes? That's not going to cook." I said, "Stand here and watch."
You were throwing him down.
Yeah, I was. We did what's called embarrada, right? It's just a smear of the masa in the corn husk, and I had a little dumpling steamer going on some boiling water, and it cooked in 20 minutes. And I did mole verde, which doesn't take a whole lot of time either. You know, the traditional moles from Oaxaca take days sometimes, and a quick marinade, and it all came together. And you know, I did practice for that. You asked me earlier if I'm a plan it or wing it guy. I practiced in a few kitchens that weren't our own because I was, you know, going into a place where I didn't know where anything was.
That's so smart.
Went into a couple friends' houses and said, "Hey, let me cook in your house and start the timer and let's go. Don't tell me where anything is. I'll find it." And so when I got there, of course, Jessica was in the crowd and, you know, cheering me on. And I was prepared. I was focused. I was laser focused. And when he came over and saw what I was doing, the tamal and the mole, I think he knew he was toast. And so he was rushing. Yes, to answer your question, his plate did look pretty sloppy because he was rushing to put it all together and trying to elevate what he was doing to match my dish, I think.
And you were like smooth.
I feel like I was. I don't know. You were in the audience. I look good.
You were pretty smooth. You looked amazing.
Like butter?
Yes,
Smooth like butter?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, what an experience.
You know, it was a lot of pressure because I knew one thing was for sure: if I let Bobby Flay beat me in fajitas, I'd have to move out of Texas.
I mean, it would be a disaster. Yeah. Let me ask you something. Like standing next to him side by side.
Yeah.
And they say you win. What was that feeling?
It was incredible. I mean, I knew it was coming.
You had already said at the beginning.
It was incredible. You know, he was a really nice guy. There's a lot of people have their opinions of him, and he comes across as arrogant to some people, I guess. Because I had a lot of people reach out to me, ask me, "Is he a real jerk?" No, he was nice, and he was very humble. And I think the best part about it was afterwards when you know they only keep the winner for the rest of the video. He had to leave and go into his own hallway. He crossed paths with Jessica, and was actually pretty gracious to Jessica about.
No, their whole team was incredible. They had, I feel like 100 people working on set everywhere. There were people everywhere, and I think they were filming like every day for 90 days or something.
And you guys couldn't say anything.
Yeah.
For how long?
No, so this was November. This was October of 2019, and they said air in a couple of months, and we signed a what was it, like a non-disclosure? We couldn't say anything for worth $25,000 or $250,000, like $250,000 if you ruin the surprise or you go out and say anything about it, right? And then COVID, and so it didn't air for a year because maybe 2 years. I think it was 2 years.
Yeah.
But then of course we were in the middle of COVID too, trying to stay alive and survive and pivot, and so I forgot all about it. And then one day get a call, it's like, "Hey, your show's about to air." Oh, cool. And then that's really when I got the most nervous. As a matter of fact, was when it was airing, when we finally get to see it. We had a big screen out in the patio at Salomé. My mom was up front and center, and I didn't say anything that's gonna, you know, my mom, I'm gonna regret in front of my mother, but they did a good job editing. that show.
That's
Such a
incredible.
good show.
Did you see like spikes in the restaurant? Like, because I know I went looking for
Initially.
every article, like
Initially,
everything.
yes. Initially, we did, and I cooked that dish for a bunch of caterings, weddings, and events around town.
Put it on the menu.
It was on the
yeah.
menu. It did really well. And in fact, we still do that menu for caterings. We just did one in November. Matter of fact, same exact one, the Bobby Flay menu. All right, we'll do it.
Oh wow.
So it's
Chef,
been great.
how much of the catering has been expanding the business versus a necessary pivot, just with softening of traffic and maybe y'all haven't seen it, but the industry as a whole, right? There's been constant trends about new generation not drinking as much, not dining as much. You know, there's different consumer spends. I think y'all do a phenomenal job at catering. I've obviously been to a lot of the events that y'all do cater, but can you walk us through that thinking and what's in the future for you?
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, a lot of it is just supplements what we do in the restaurant. At one point, it was an expansion of our daily operations, but as you've noted, for a variety of reasons, traffic is low all around, and so catering is an essential part of our operations as of today.
What would you say to somebody that maybe is on the fence about catering?
You know, I think you have to make yourself available to do it. Not at the expense of your restaurant, though. Early on, we never said no to any event that we were asked to do. And if you take that approach, though, you have to be prepared to execute in your restaurant. If you can't execute the four walls first, then catering shouldn't even be in the discussion.
I've seen. You have to shut down in order to do a catering.
We've seen some businesses do that. They close their restaurant for a day in order to do the catering, and they may capture the sales of that catering, but they lose trust in the general public, their customers that are coming out. Maybe they've planned that date on a Saturday night for a special occasion. You lose a little bit of trust in the customer, in my opinion, and so we've always been very careful not to do that.
Well said. That's been a huge battle with also delivery. Can you walk us through how do you manage delivery today and not disrupt the dining room?
Yeah, that was another thing that we went through during COVID. We went as far as we purchased a fleet of cars to do our own delivery. And when we realized that it's affecting what we do within the four walls, we had to.
Can you order off of? I haven't even tried, but can you order off of DoorDash for? Okay, so you are entertaining all of those.
We are.
Do you have a limit? I mean, I know some people say I'm only going to allow a $200 order or anything, just so you don't get swamped with something.
No, we don't. But
I don't know what the cap is.
I tell you, the one thing that Valentine's Day was a big one for us. We had to limit during Valentine's Day this year because we learned the hard way last Valentine's Day that you could just kill your kitchen if it wasn't limited. And so we don't do our own delivery anymore.
So we do third-party deliveries, but I mean, I delivered to a law office today, but we don't normally do that.
But those tickets coming in, I mean, it's hard to gauge, and it's hard to staff for. And if you have an 8-top that you just sat, and then all of a sudden you get a couple of those tickets come in, it's tough to kind of manage that.
You can manage a dining room with a reservation system, but you can't manage all your diners that want to have food delivered at 8 o'clock. Those tickets, you can very quickly be inundated with to-go orders that cause a ruckus in the kitchen for sure.
Well, it's been fun to watch y'all's success and pivots and everything that y'all have evolved with. I'll also tell you they make a very mean turkey for Thanksgiving because I bought that package.
And lasagna.
How is that turkey made, by the way? I mean,
very carefully.
Yeah, my goodness. I'm like, because it's dark meat and white.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's both. It's deboned and rolled into a roast.
Right. It's so good. Yeah, it was so good.
Such
I think I admitted to you that I don't know what we had going on, but we couldn't cook. oh, our stove broke. So that's why we couldn't cook. And usually I like to cook there at the house. And I called Jessica. And she said, absolutely, come by. And so, I called the restaurant. And then they said, come by. So I said, okay, let's do it. So I took that, and I felt so poorly because our family did an amazing meal. But everyone was just like, where did you get that turkey from? And I'm like, dude, I was like, it took me a long time. You gotta put the dark meat in my. Yeah, right. No.
House
Well,
wine,
you know,
never going back
No.
to cooking. Yeah.
We haven't gone back. My
No.
mother,
Yeah.
that's my favorite meal, is my mother's Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
And since we started doing this a couple years ago, I introduced it to our family. And you know what we got back was our time
Mm-hmm.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was really what we focused on as far as selling that package. I'm not selling you a turkey dinner. I'm selling you your time. You don't got to shop. You
Fire.
don't have to clean. You don't have to.
Prep,
We-
cook, stress out. Just put it in the oven.
We don't know how to.
Open a bottle of wine and enjoy your family.
We
Yeah.
literally have arguments over that because we don't know how to hang out without working in our
Yeah.
family. Like
Yeah.
and I'm just like, and it's just natural. You're like cooking and you're serving, and I'm like, and I used to be the same way. I'd have people come over, and then by the end of it, I'm like, did they have a good time? Did I have a good time? I don't know. I was just moving around so much, you know? Yeah, well,
So
because it's just
stressed out,
natural, right? It's just
yeah.
natural.
Mhm.
But that's very well said because we experienced that for the first time this year, and we do it out of love, right? We want to serve whoever's coming over. We want to enjoy, you know, and so all of that's a little bit interesting. But yeah, man, hell of a turkey, and I love what y'all did with the add-on, like call it for Christmas, etc. That's so smart, kind of like that preview paper. Oh, and then the prayer. That was really neat. Yeah, that was really neat. So really nice stuff. Speaking of prayer, I had to add my holy water today to the set. Cheers to Rocco. So yeah, we talked a little bit about dogs before we got started. That's all the information you get. Well, this has been very cool. We have a little surprise for you that we would like to share with you.
Guys, this
Thank
is
you,
awesome.
Karima.
I love it.
All right,
Oh,
let's do
no
that.
Thank you.
shortcuts. That's what you were talking about
Yes,
the other day.
I saw you wearing this
You
hat.
guys.
Oh, you know what?
Oh,
let me get this
wow.
one here.
I love it.
Hold on.
Oh,
It's a
my.
surprise. What you've built is more than cuisine. It's a reflection of where you come from, what you believe in, and the community you continue to serve. Thank y'all very much. And why don't you go ahead and slowly
wow.
pull that towel up a little bit?
Oh my gosh.
There
Oh
we
my
go.
gosh.
That's
Whoa, you guys.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
So
This
I
is
know you
so
probably have a
beautiful.
bunch of
Not-
these.
I don't have this one yet.
Yeah.
This is so special.
Oh wow, look at this.
You guys are so special.
Oh my gosh.
So it's locally made.
Yes, it's just Villarreal.
Yeah,
No.
Villarreal.
Yeah.
So we got it
Wow.
locally made as a token. I know as a chef you probably have the best knives, but as a token to appreciate what y'all have done for the local food scene here.
You
It's important to
guys.
us.
Thank you.
What a beautiful gift. So
Yeah.
thoughtful.
Well, let me tell you this something.
So
I'm of the believer
amazing.
that no matter what I have, my favorite meals
Oh,
and my favorite knives all go in the same category. It's the ones that were either cooked for me or given to me.
I like that.
Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Oh,
so
wow.
I have one thing about this
What a
though.
treat.
We have a thing in our family. I cannot gift a knife to you.
Yeah, I got a coin for you.
Okay, yeah, I need my
I-
penny.
Oh,
I
what
need
is
my
it? I don't know
it's in
that
my
one.
truck.
No, yeah. If you accept a knife from somebody as a gift, it's kind of bad juju. Yeah, a little bit. So
Wow.
he's
Even
gonna
if you get
purchase
a
the
knife
knife from me.
set?
Yes. Yes.
I don't know. I
Oh
don't
my
test
God. I need
it.
to go give Omar
So-
a quarter.
The legend says we do the
Yes,
same thing.
yes.
And I give a knife to my team members too, and their anniversaries or birthdays or whenever. Yeah. And I always make them give me a coin. As it was explained to me years ago, is that that's so that the friendship, the relationship
Oh, that's right.
won't get severed by the knife.
Well said.
It has to be my coin. I have one.
You wanna
no,
go get it real quick?
no loans here. No,
Are
no
you sure?
worries.
Like, I'm gifting you a coin, and then you can.
I'll get it. I'll get it. Thank y'all so much. Well, this is really, really neat. Any last comments that y'all have, or any news that y'all want to share?
First, when can we come back?
Hell
This is so
yeah.
much fun.
Good.
And just really neat to get to chat and talk about the industry and business and personal, and just really an awesome afternoon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your hospitality. Your crew is impeccable,
Thank you.
and what a treat this was for us.
Next time I'll bring the tequila.
Hey, there we go. Yeah, I love that, Chef. Thank you so much.
The whole team
Yeah.
back there. I got excited.
And Bob,
Yeah.
congratulations to you and your family business and legacy.
Thank you.
I mean, your parents are just so admired, and just incredible people in the business that y'all have built. And now to see and to become friends with y'all, and just to see all the incredible work that you're doing is so refreshing and so fun and so inspiring. So thank you for being that guy. I can't even imagine the amount of work that this takes. I know. And so kudos to you and your team, to FMP Brands, to Dairy Queen, to Schlotsky's. You guys are rocking it, and
Thank you so much,
just so generous to our community. I see everything that y'all give, and y'all don't give a little. You are beyond generous, and it is people and businesses like you that make the Valley so special and the best place to live. So thank you. Oh.
Thank you so much. That's nice of you.
Thank you guys. This was so cool.
The Life Currency community is growing, and it's growing because of folks like this. Ms. Giselle, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And I can assure you that if they'll lend us some of their time again, we'll have the Delgado Collective on here again. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great day. Dine and eat locally.
Welcome to the Life Currency Podcast. I'm your host, Bob Lozano, a show that explores success, growth, and opportunity in the restaurant industry. A restaurant podcast by restaurant people, powered by F&P Media.